There's only 2 other kickboxing matches in there. Why did he stay in for the other MMA fights? And we asked the guy, what's the deal? He goes, well, I'm the MMA ref. Well, how come you haven't been out there? Because the way he was calling it, it was unbelievable. I mean,
Well, people are always saying to me, well, we just want him to get used to it. Well, don't do it at somebody else's expense, not at my expense. That's not the time to learn.
It was bad.
There was fighters holding the cage that need to be said, let go of the cage. There's stuff that an experienced guy or even a new guy should have actually known. Honestly,
it wasn't Jay D'Amato.
It was not Jay D'Amato.
Yeah. So I mean,
that gray hair got me a little concerned there.
Yeah.
No misunderstanding. Not that
I mean, they had a beautiful venue, a humongous cage, at least a 30-foot cage.
Really?
It took up the entire center of this room.
They had a
It was the biggest cage I'd ever seen.
Did they have a good turnout?
No.
Okay.
For the cage.
All the tables up next to the
Big
cage
cage
were
and no
full.
people.
All the back tables had 2, 3, 4 people.
I'd say pushing 200 tops.
Wow.
That's fighters and everything included. Which I didn't really like to see that because it was supposed to be a charity event, but,
Well, I know that, sometimes...
It was supposed to be for FACT, and then also it was supposed to be Fight for the Cure for cancer.
Yeah.
I know that, first-time promoters, sometimes there's a lot of stuff to learn. I mean, I'm still learning, everybody's still learning in this game, but, for the betterment of the sport, we want it to be run well. And sanctioning bodies aren't there to teach you how to promote.
Right. And my
They say
suggestion...
specifically, we're not here to run the show, and I don't understand that.
And I agree
They bring
with that totally.
expertise, and I think they need to bring a little bit more.
Well,
here's my need of a sanctioning body did offer that service, but I don't know of one that does.
Yeah, one of the biggest problems with it, the way it was ran, it was supposed to start at 7 o'clock. Did not start till almost 8:30. They took 15 minutes in between every fight.
That would piss me
Every
off.
fight.
Piss me off.
We didn't leave till 12:45 in the morning.
What?
12:45 in the morning.
It was so bad. They're bringing the guys out, letting them get in their corners.
That's 4 hours of fighting.
Sure, was it 11:45?
No,
it was
12:45.
Well, it was really 1:45.
Yeah, it was really with the time change.
How many fights did they have?
They had
8.
They had 9 fights.
9 fights. Oh God.
9 fights,
Wow.
and they took 3 intermissions also.
How many went to the decision?
To decision 2.
And how were the decisions?
And
Draws on
one
both
was
of
a
them.
kick.
No, they're both draws though.
One was kickboxing though.
And they gave them both a draw.
Yeah.
So
How many kickboxing matches?
There was 3 kickboxing matches total. One did not happen though
3 or
because
4.
there was 3.
I think there was 3.
There was
Someone
3.
told me earlier there was 3 kickboxing, 1 kid grappling match, and
Right. And one grappling match. It was
Who's the kid grappling match?
it was
Brian Mason's
Joe
son,
Fody
Nick.
and Brian Mason's son.
And that was a draw?
No, it was a grappling exhibition match. They didn't call it.
What happened was,
Who won? Fody won.
well, Fody got on top and just held him. I mean,
Just
they stood
held
in the same position for
Clinched
over
up
2 minutes.
and sat there and didn't do anything.
Well, they did
At
score
all.
it a draw, according to Brian.
Yes,
They
they
called
did
it.
called it
draw.
a draw because, like I said, once they got into a certain position, it wasn't even a move. He just held him, and that was it.
And he was trying to
That's
get out, but
exciting.
he was so much
Well, I
smaller.
kept saying, let him stand up and reshoot, and the guy's going, no, they can't do that. It's a grappling match. It's a grappling match. You can stand them up. If they're stalemating each other, just sitting there, stand them up, make them work.
If you give him an 8 count, you can stand him up. You can
Exactly.
do it how you want.
Yeah, exactly. If you get him standing 8 count
You
for a
can start
knockout
in both
in MMA.
decisions, back to back, whatever you want to do.
You do have to blame the
And for
the sanctioning body for the...
right?
Yeah, you do got to blame the sanctioning body for the officials and the referees that they bring if they don't know the sport.
Exactly.
But the promotion goes on the promoter's end, and hopefully if they do another show, they'll get better.
They'll get their butts worked
There's
out.
been
Yeah.
a big flood of new promotions lately, and I think it's people go to a show maybe that was run well, and they think, oh, this is easy.
This is
I can
easy.
do
It's
this.
not easy.
All I gotta say is
It's not
to
work.
new promoters is really research your fighters. Don't throw a bunch of newbies in there because I think that was the biggest deal. They're all first-time fighters, and half of them weren't. 90% of them weren't ready. I mean,
They were not.
What were they all sharing the same cup?
It could be great or it could be
It very well could be. These.
That's what they did in that Run Rock.
Tony's first for him.
Yes, I am. I was so mad.
First-time fighters
They figured out they only had one set of cup for each guy. So they had to go back to the next guy.
Are they
Had to do it
guys?
there.
One conversation.
I ain't saying don't match. I ain't saying don't fight them one-time fighters, but be
Make
selective.
that
Make sure
they're
you got.
properly trained first.
If you got 13 cars, make sure you got 5 or 6. There's going to be decent, experienced guys, and then throw the other guys in there. But you have 12 out of 13 fights that are
Newbies.
and
who need
Well, I
to train
remember
a lot
I
more.
recommend this. If you're going to go with newbies, do it this way. Pick newbies from established teams.
Exactly.
That's what I was gonna say. I
Because
remember
those guys will give you an honest on it. Usually, they will give you an honest representation of where they're at.
Well, they had a hard
If you have
time.
a real team and you got a newbie, you know where he fits in.
I had a lot of people
I
calling
know
me
how good this kid is.
looking for fighters the last day, and
You
I
go
know it
with
was
it.
for that one, but I remember on their poster they named all the bigger gyms in the area as being participants on there, but they must have lost most
The
of
only
those.
ones they did have one. They were supposed to have two from Berger. It was supposed to be Johans and Steve Dietrich. Steve Dietrich, Spider backed out, so they matched him up with Dave Callow from Fearless Fighters.
Oh, how did that go?
Dietrich won,
Dietrich won.
took him to the ground, finished him.
Amazing, beautiful arm triangle. Perfect. Had him submitted in
yeah.
the first round, and somehow
Yeah, and he
Dave
been-
got out of an arm.
Alabama.
Out of
He
an
got
arm.
with very little ground game.
Oh,
Yeah, he did.
it-
He actually, once he got Steve down, he was in Steve's guard. He held Steve for most of the round until he managed to break. Then Steve worked the last 5 minutes, and then the second round he come out and he threw a couple kicks. Steve shot in on him, and he managed to get into a mount position. And he's learned to control his arms, and he got him into a triangle, and turned it into a reverse triangle. So.
I mean, he did very, very well being up against Steve, who is a jiu-jitsu specialist, you know.
Right.
I mean, that's his specialty, and so.
Does
But
this
he did
promotion-
very good.
Does
Yes.
this promotion have any future fights planned at this time?
Not at this time.
Okay. But they have the machinist hall, which is a good.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we like the whole. I mean, I'm not. I'd like to see him do another one, but I'd just like to see him research it and organize a little better.
Ask for help. Ask for
Myself.
opinions. You know, you cannot leave your. We had people leaving after the first intermission. 50 people would leave.
Oh hell no.
The next intermission, 70 people would leave. I mean,
Yeah.
by the time the fights were over,
Yeah,
there
it was
maybe
real
30
hollow at the
people
end
in
of
the
the
whole
night.
place.
Yeah, there's a little more than 30, but it was low.
Well, we had about 20 of us there, so for little Steve, and his fight was the last of the night.
Well,
But
it's a long time since I've known an event to go after midnight.
it was wow.
It was
It used to happen all the time. I mean, we'd be there sometimes at 1 o'clock in the morning, judging and refereeing these things. I remember judging them, and I'm thinking, I don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
I couldn't even remember who was who. I'm looking at it, does anybody, I mean, it was so late. And it was like, Brian Madden used to have like 18 fights, 19, 20 fights, and you just sat there.
And then started 9.
Yeah, and it was just like,
Yeah.
holy cow, is this ever going to be over?
Right.
I mean,
right.
some of the
It
fights
was
were
just-
so good, and nobody could care less.
And the delay is the other thing that really drove
Oh.
it down. They were dragging everything out, and I don't know if on purpose, guys weren't ready, what, but they delayed everything.
And the crowd was so mad. Getting so
Oh, yeah.
mad. I mean, they sat there for an hour and a half after the doors opened.
Everybody knows that if you do like a movie or a show, it's got to be under 3 hours.
Yeah.
People will do anything 3 hours. They want to go.
Well,
Right.
in spite of they had some disorganized stuff, but I'm pretty sure they worked real hard at it, and hopefully they'll only get better. You
Yeah.
know, they'll ask for some help from some people that have done it, and they'll make it better for the fans and the fighters. You know,
Right.
that's what we're hoping for them. So, hats off for them trying, but hopefully they're not another one and done. There's been, like Steve said, several of them this year, and
Yeah. I mean,
Yes,
I'd
we
like
gotta
to see
get-
everybody do a good job, but
so we need to move into the next segment.
Yeah, we
Andy,
sure
tell
do
us,
because we got Jamie calling at 10:15, and we're going to try to get 2 segments possibly in before then. So with that being said, we're going to take a little musical break here. This is Ann Arbor with Passion for Publication. Wait, Jay. Please.